Kung Fu Panda 4 promises to be one of the most sensational movies released in 2024.
I think I just peed a little.
And its trailer is loaded with tiny details that practically no one noticed. For instance, did you notice that in addition to Tai Lung, Po's opponent from the first Kung Fu Panda, Lord Shen, the villain from the second movie, also appeared in the trailer? He appears in an almost imperceptible way, but we noticed, and we're going to show you. Not just that, but we also spotted many other Easter eggs and interesting facts in this amazing trailer. Sacred Staff. The first detail that might have gone unnoticed by many fans of the Dragon Warrior is that staff Po is holding in several scenes of the trailer. It's the same staff with the yin-yang symbol at its tip that Great Master Oogway handed to Po at the end of the third film of the franchise, after he defeated Master Kai in the spirit world, which was quite different from what Master Oogway used when he was in the living world, which was a much simpler staff. After receiving it, Po ended up taking it back to the living world when his friends and relatives brought him back from the spirit world.
Both sides of the yin and yang, and my true successor.
That's why we see him with the sacred staff, as now, officially, Po has become the master of Shi. But in the trailer, he's not the only one with the sacred staff. That's because another detail is that we also see the staff in the hands of the chameleon. The main villain in Kung Fu Panda 4 will be the Chameleon, a sorceress who will be the most dangerous adversary the Protector of the Valley of Peace has ever faced. And the same precious sacred staff that Po possesses, given to him by Master Oogway, is in the hands of the Chameleon in some scenes. It means that at some point in the movie, she will manage to take it from Po's hands and probably steal his Shi, that golden force surrounding his body when he is in the spirit world, and that he also teaches to the inhabitants of the Valley of Peace and the Furious Five. But, just like we see that the sacred staff isn't only in Po's hands, we also notice that in the trailer, he's not the only one with the purified golden aura. That's because it's possible to notice that there's also a golden glow on the aura of Tai Lung. In one of the trailer scenes, we see that the chameleon brings Tai Lung back from the spirit world to the living world again, remembering that at the end of the first movie, Po sends him to the spirit world with the skadoosh. And in the third movie, we see that Tai Lung was one of the masters whom Kai defeated and turned into a jade amulet. But what catches the eye is the fact that now Tai Lung is with a completely golden aura, just like Po and Master Oogway. And no, not everyone in the spirit world has a golden aura, as was the case with Kai. This might indicate that there's a great chance that Tai Lung has regenerated in the spirit world, and perhaps learned the mastery of Shi from Master Oogway himself. That would be sensational, because it would mean he would stop being a villain, which would be really cool.
Tai Lung, big fan.
And something as cool as that, which you definitely should not miss, is subscribing to our channel. I heard that by doing that, there's a 100% chance of you not having your Kung Fu stolen. So, subscribe to avoid the same misfortune as Tai Lung. Since the sorceress steals his Kung Fu and gains the ability to transform into Tai Lung himself, this leads us to another detail we noticed: chameleon scales. Tell me, can you tell the difference between when it's Tai Lung and when it's the chameleon in the trailer? Exactly because of this doubt, I watched the trailer a few more times and noticed that every time Tai Lung appears with scaly skin on his chin, similar to lizard skin, it's actually the chameleon, not Tai Lung himself. By realizing this, we also notice that it's not only the physiology of the Kung Fu masters that the sorceress copies, but also their moves. And this is a detail that we noticed, especially because she even uses the move of Tai Lung. In the first movie, we saw that Tai Lung had a special technique that he learned from Master Shifu that immobilizes his enemies. But when he tried to use it on Po, nothing happened, since he was too fluffy to be affected.
Don't!
But when he fights against the villain's minions in Kung Fu Panda 4, we see that he uses that same move. But when the chameleon transforms into a scaly version of Tai Lung, she uses Tai Lung's own move against him. So, for many who saw the trailer and thought it was a common move, it was actually nothing less than Master Shifu's secret move being used again after 15 long years. And, although Tai Lung got a lot of attention in the trailer, it's very likely that he's not the only old enemy of Po to reappear. Appearance of Lord Shen. As we mentioned at the beginning of the video, in a quick moment of the trailer, we can notice the presence of what many consider the most evil of the enemies Po has ever defeated, Lord Shen. And we're going to tell you now the exact moment when this happens. Are you ready? Right after the chameleon brings Tai Lung back from the spirit world, we notice a very interesting detail. If you look closely, you'll see that the shadow that forms in front of and behind the sorceress doesn't look at all like the shape of Tai Lung's body. But if you think about it, it's much more similar to the shape of the wicked Lord Shin's body. And no, this isn't reaching. Look again and tell me if it doesn't remind you of the bird-like shape that Lord Shin has. Show the shadow scene again. Moreover, the chameleon is holding the sacred staff that should be with Po, which might mean that it has powers to not only bring people from the spirit world, but also some from the world of the dead, which is the case with Lord Shin, who passed away at the end of the second Kung Fu Panda. Honestly, if Chameleon teams up with Lord Shin, I have no idea how Po is going to pull off a win. I'm seriously stoked to see this movie! Besides Lord Shin, another character who made a brief appearance in Kung Fu Panda also shows up in the trailer. Master Rhino. Master Rhino appeared early in the second Dragon Warrior movie and was killed by Lord Shin with a point-blank cannon shot. He had such a brief appearance in the movie, and you might be wondering, so how does he get remembered in Kung Fu Panda 4? Well, throughout the trailer, we can see that in several scenes there are similar symbols appearing in various places, like on the floor of the hall where Tai Lung shows up, and also in the place where Po and Zen Fox are trying to sneak past without waking the lizards. These are the same symbols that are both on Master Rhino's horn and hammer when he faces Lord Shin in the second movie of the franchise. This could mean that Chameleon and the late Master Rhino might be, or might have been, part of the same Kung Fu school or group. Who knows, right? But the symbols do look similar. And if you're still with me, you must be a big Kung Fu Panda fan. So if you're like us and love the Dragon Warrior stories, comment below #Po to let us identify everyone who carries a bit of Shi inside them. Dragon Strike. Another detail we noticed is that at one point we can see Po performing a move in a fight that creates the shape of a dragon. This is the same awesome Dragon Warrior move he used against Master Kai in their final battle. Man, that move is so cool. Can't get enough of it. New old characters. Another interesting detail we noticed is that even though the sorceress is usually accompanied by her lizard guards, in one scene, if we pause at the right moment, we see 4 completely different characters besides Chameleon. The characters that appear are a boar, a crocodile, a wolf, and a monkey. Many believe these to be enemies from the Kung Fu Panda animated series, like Tao Tai or Li Dong, or even the wolf who was the chief guard of Lord Shin in Kung Fu Panda 2, who gave Po a hard time in some scenes. If this happens, it really means all of Po's enemies have teamed up against him this time, including the Dragon Strike that Po uses, which we talked about in the previous point, seems to be against these 4 elements that are with Chameleon. Restaurant. Another quick detail that almost nobody noticed is that in one scene, when Po appears to be in the middle of a festival, we can see a sign next to him. If you look closely, you'll notice 2 interesting things. First, it's a tea house, as there's a hand holding a teapot with a cup underneath. A great place to eat, right, Po? Second, if you look even closer, you'll notice that the hand on the sign has its pinky finger raised. This could mean one of 2 things. Either it's a symbol of refinement to raise the pinky while drinking tea, or the owner knows the Dragon Warrior skadoosh move. That would be certainly cool. Can you imagine? These were the 10 amazing details that almost nobody had noticed in the Kung Fu Panda 4 trailer. But now you know what they are. Without a doubt, Kung Fu Panda is one of the movie series that has made me laugh and enjoy the most. And since we know you're having fun and don't want you to stop, we've selected these 2 videos for you to keep watching cool content. Just choose one of the 2 and enjoy.